You want to be the girl that he'll never forget, and for good reasons. I think maintaining mystery is important. When I'm with a man, I don't let him see everything. I keep my feminine wits about me.
Hey friend, welcome to my channel, Kareen Allude, where we talk about everything, and I'm Kareen Allude. I was one of the ones that believed you have to be strong all the time, run from everything feminine, girl, be, woman, power. Yes, I was one of those, okay? You get older, you get wiser, you get smarter, and you learn, hey, maybe I was wrong. Maybe there's a lot more strength and you go a lot further being feminine. And a lot of women feel like to survive in this cutthroat world where there's no equality, you have to be masculine. Sis, I'm telling you, no, you go a lot further being feminine. I have 8 ways for you to activate your femininity. The first one is be assertive, not aggressive. Let me tell you the difference. There's a way you can get what you want without being I'm the manager at the company I work for, 3 Financial, and when I first started, I just started off as a secretary, just doing the basic pickup and stuff. And when I wanted to increase my pay, I started staying later, doing a lot more, and I made sure I was proving myself in the beginning that I am capable instead of just demanding. That is just a spoiled, bratty way. And a lot of women do that in their relationships and with their friends and in their life. Like they're just demand, but they're not doing no work. I was staying really late, leaving basically, I'd come at 9 in the morning and I'd go home at 11, and I was writing contracts for them. I was doing way beyond what a secretary would do. And then I was like, you know what? Now I feel like after doing that for a while, I spoke to my boss, the CEO, and I was like, listen, I am doing a lot for you guys, and I feel like I could be a lot more beneficial for you guys in the future. And I started by just showing my worth, what I have done since I've been here, like revamping the look of the office, doing this, etc. My boss asked me, what do you think is a good number? Just like that. I, of course, with the humble route, was like, I don't know, whatever you think would suffice. But the way I presented my case was so well that I was like, you know what? I got way more than I even intended and got promoted to just being a manager. Like, okay, you're going to manage this office because you actually have been doing this. And I never asked to be a manager. I was just a secretary. I didn't even have to ask for a promotion. You know, my boss just like, yo, we don't want to lose her. She now has her degree. Let's increase her pay so she doesn't leave us. That's just how it is. People will naturally already see your worth. Now, if I was to go and I was doing all that, like, listen, I've been working hard day and night, putting in my work, and I need to get paid. Okay, realistically, I'm being dramatic because no one would approach a boss like this, but say, hey, I feel like I've been working really hard and this is just not enough, tone, face, this, no. You turning off the person like, okay, that's your job. But when you're approaching a situation with a smile, you're very polite, and you also start by thanking them, showing appreciation for, hey, I appreciate this position, thank you. But I do feel like I could do a lot more, and I have been doing a lot more for the company, but I don't think the pay is equivalent to what I'm getting paid. Like, you approach it that way, and I'm not saying stay smiling like an egghead, but you smile every now and then. Your face, you smile with your eyes as your lips are seriously talking, but you know they're understanding what you're saying. Like, do you feel what I'm saying? Do you feel what I'm saying? Versus talking with the brow furrowed in, like, I feel like I should get paid more and da-da-da-da-da. It's like, do you guys see the difference? Am I explaining this right? Because I feel like you'd have to see it in person, but there's a way. And ladies, if you're dealing with a spouse or a boy, because I've had, listen, I know when I'm dating, when I want something from whoever I'm dating, I know how to approach, babe. And a lot of women feel like it's beneath them to do that approach, but honey, it's not. At the end of the day, you get what you want versus, I don't know, we never do anything. We never did it. How come you never buy me this? Or how come this and that? And then you're doing the comparison between, well, don't you see this person and this? I see a lot of people do that, and it's so toxic. Versus just, babe, I miss you. Like, why don't we do this instead, da 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 da? Because as aggressive as I used to be back then, I knew how to be in a relationship, how to speak, okay? So there it goes. You're still assertive. You're saying what you're saying. They know you're serious, but you're still gentle and you have that warmth, that elegance, that touch. Do you get, it's something you have to practice. Second tip is learn to be comfortable with treating and taking care of yourself. Don't underestimate investing in yourself and taking care and treating yourself. Don't underestimate that. A lot of women don't take the time to do their nails. Well, I'm saying you don't have to do your nails. It's not always a thing. But they don't take the time to do their hair or to make sure they're right. I know some women that literally wear sweats all day, every day. I know some women that literally throw their hair in a bun every day. That's it. Not even like, I'm talking about a messy bun. For the most part, when I'm home, I could look like whatever. But when I'm in society, you're gonna know that this girl take care of herself, okay? Her hygiene, my teeth, I will invest in that before I go and keep purchasing bags and clothes. Go to the dentist too, invest in that, save up for that too. The outfit you're wearing, like, don't just go for the cheapest option all the time. If you can afford something that's a little bit more form-fitting, that's a little bit more elegant. Like, I understand a lot of you guys that do watch are in high school, middle school, whatever, you're not yet working, or even if you are working, you have priorities, bills, children, etc. I know. So money is not everything, that's not what I'm saying, but with what you have, you can do. There's so many YouTube videos on how to do your hair yourself. There's so many YouTube videos on how to style the same dress in like 6 different ways to make it look more elegant. There's so many self-help books and stuff out there that you can go ahead and look at to teach you just how to do this without spending a dime. You know, you don't have to pay for someone to do your hair all the time. I do my own hair. There's drugstore makeup. Every YouTube makeup guru has a video on using drugstore makeup on themselves for those who can't afford it, like $1 makeup and this and that. So you don't have to spend a lot of money to look a specific way or to take care of yourself. But presentation is everything. When you go and apply for a job, don't think that your bosses are not looking at your presentation. If you look all messy and disheveled and your nails are dirty on the inside, you have halitosis while you're talking to them, and like your hygiene, everything is just off. Don't think that they don't see that, especially if you're like, I'm not talking about going to McDonald's or Wendy's, because you can find a job with poor hygiene at these type of places, but you're going to a corporate company and you're applying for a job, they're always going to take the person with the better hygiene. I want my business to look very lucrative. I want my business to look very serious, and you do not represent that. And so that's why it's important to take care of yourself, your hygiene, and make that a priority, and do not be cheap when it comes to yourself. And even if you are cheap, learn the craft. Because when I was in college, I was broke as a joke. And I learned how to do my hair. That's how I started learning how to do my hair. And I started learning how to wear the same dress or the same pants with like 3 different shirts in different ways. People wouldn't even be knowing that I'm wearing the same thing. And I found the cheapest online stores to buy the cheapest dresses. Now let's go to the third one. Work out, eat healthy, sleep, which ties into taking care of yourself. Prioritize your sleep. And I know a lot of you guys have children and you're saying, hey, it's tough to get those 8 hours into sleep, etc., blah, blah, blah. I get it. But just because one area of your life, you know, temporarily will not work out the way you want, like sleeping, doesn't mean you can't watch what you eat. If you're already not getting good sleep, make sure you're at least eating right, and make sure you're at least working out 30 minutes once to twice a week, okay? Because it all helps with your self-esteem. When you feel like you look your best, you exude confidence, and it's easier to smile. It's easier to be less aggressive. It's easier to be just a joyful person because you're not beating yourself up. When you're positive and happy with yourself, you tend to be more positive and happy with others, okay? Fourth, smile and be more happy. No attitude or eye rolling. I always say this, women who make a habit of rolling their eyes, having attitude, consistently combating with someone, always have a problem. They just never seem to smile. You have this RBF, which is the resting bee face, on constantly. Like it's a turnoff to women and men alike, even as friends. I will not befriend the girl who's always in the corner, rolling their eyes, complaining about something. Like every time I'm around you, you're moody, you're depressed, you're complaining about something. We never just laugh and have a happy conversation. It's always to, you know, a dark place. Like, it makes you just think of life's problems. No one wants to be reminded of life's problems all the time. And I see some people, because of who they choose to marry or be around, they're constantly depressed because they're living with someone who's constantly depressed and moody, and people feed off each other's energy. So if you're rolling your eyes all the time, an older person who knows how important it is to protect their energy and who's positive is not going to want to hang around you. You will attract other people with attitudes, and I just can't do it. It's not cute. It's not nice. It's just not it. Fifth one is be comfortable around other feminine women. Now, there are a lot of women who literally never have female friends around them. They're never around their mother. Like I said, I didn't grow around my mother. She passed really young. I was always with my dad. So I always liked hanging around females. I always liked being around women. I wanted to learn, specifically older women. All my friends are older than me. All of them. They're like at least 5, 6 years. Like my best friend is 5 years older than me. You know, I like to hang around older women because I always felt like I could learn around them. And it always made me feel like, okay, I saw your mistakes and I'm learning, and they would teach me along the way. So it's important to be around other feminine women. Like I said, not like these masculine women who's always fighting with somebody, who's always gossiping around somebody, but these women that are girly girl, that actually enjoy shopping, that want to share the latest fashion apps with you, that actually takes good care of themselves, who, you know, we can go do our nails together. Like, it's a thing for me and my best friend every now and then we'll go get our nails together, done together at the same shop, and we bond at that moment. If there's a wedding or something happening, we enjoy shopping with each other to go find a dress. And it just helps you to, when you're looking at the other woman, she'll learn a new trick with makeup, and then I'll just learn from, oh girl, how you do that? That's nice. Teach me how to do that. Oh, I like this bob on you. Can you do that for me or whatever? It's just you feed off of each other, and you see every year you elevate together. Invest in yourself, which goes into the working out, eating, the learning tips. So I'm not even gonna stay on that. You know what I mean by that. Learn new things is the next one. Learning new things helps your confidence. Like right now I'm learning Spanish, and my dad and most of the people in my family speak fluent Spanish because we do have that in our bloodline. And I always was fascinated growing up seeing my dad speak Spanish to other people, because I didn't practice it because our main language was always Creole and English. So I've now recently started learning it, and it's been so interesting to now finally understand people when they're speaking Spanish around me. And because of that, I'm like, I tend to see myself now trying to learn new things. Like I want to go to Spanish cities, eat their food, and try to learn their culture too. When I'm trying out new things, like whether it's new workout style, new fashion trends, new like I said, I love to learn. I love learn about the most random things, from architecture to history, documentaries on nature. Like, it just broadens your range of knowledge, that when you talk to people, no matter the subject they bring up, you can talk to people in a variety of ranges of subjects, which makes you have more substance. A lot of women who are not constantly learning, you can't even hold a conversation with them because they rarely know what you're talking about. Now, I'm not just saying educational thing. I'm not gonna lie to you. I watch my reality shows every now and then when I'm doing my homework or I'm studying or whatever. So please don't get it twisted. Like, I'm trying to tell you to just do documentaries. I watch those too, because the ladies I hang with, just like we talk about business plans, etc., we will talk about reality TV too, okay? Last one is keep a clean and smelling good home. For me, this is something that I find whenever my house is messy, I'm moody. I'm naturally moody. If I don't like the smell of something in my house, I'm moody. So I have a lot of candles, plugins. I'm cleaning. It seems like I'm cleaning every day. I'm naturally a messy person. I'm not gonna sit on here and say I'm not. I'm naturally messy because when I'm trying on clothes in the morning, if I didn't lay it out the day before, clothes is everywhere. I don't always feel like washing a dish right after I eat. So that's why it always seems like towards the end of the day, I can't go to sleep with the dishes in the sink, but I do it because I know how much I do not like rodents, I do not like roaches, I do not like those things, so I will clean. But it doesn't come naturally, but it's something that I know as a woman, you just have to practice cleanliness, you know, and a lot of people don't speak about that. But a lot of these Instagram models, you see them taking nice pictures and luxurious, and their rooms are a mess. Their house is a mess. You wouldn't even drink water at their house, let alone use the restroom. It's just so not ladylike, and it's one of my pet peeves to go to someone's house and then just feel cluttered and but I'm not rude enough to be like, yo, your house is dirty. But you would find me very comfortable at someone's house that is clean. And I will tell you, if you offer me something to drink, I'm good. I'm good, thank you. I don't think it's bougie, but if it's clear that you may have roaches and rodents, I don't know if they're walking around the cup, okay? So I'm good. I don't need to drink. No thanks. All right, we out. My friends always make fun of me for that because they can tell when I'm like, if we go visit someone or something and I'm just like sitting there, not trying to eat, not trying to drink, they're like, Kareen. Let me stop. I don't want y'all covered for me, but listen, I got so many beatings and whoopings from my aunt to clean and wash after myself and etc. that I'm traumatized as a grown woman now with my own place. Like, I am traumatized. I still hear her voice in my head telling me to go make your bed. You can't sleep with dishes in the sink. That's how you get roaches. You know roaches love the smell of grease. You better go clean the top of the stove. And you don't wash dishes without washing the sink area too. Like, I hear all of those. And I do laundry every week. I feel like a lot of women and men like to join relationships so quickly because of the pressure from social media, from like myself, all of my friends are married right now. I don't have not one single friend, not one. It's either they're married or they're about to get married. So the pressure is on, and as a feminine woman that offers a lot, you have people constantly trying to get with you, wanting to take care of you and let me propose to you and all of this. It gets tempting to just give in and be with one of those people. But ladies, I have to tell you why. No, take your time and be selective, okay? Make sure you do have a backup plan. Don't just get into a relationship in hopes of getting married and being set for life and you have no degree. You don't know how to speak properly or write a resume or even work with your hands. Because even that husband, if you're marrying that husband for love and also to be secure financially, etc., and at any given time, they may get into a car accident. The most unfortunate thing could happen, and you're going to have to pick up the pieces for yourself and for your children. And you have to be able to know how to bounce back, basically. And I do know that a lot of women who are in these relationships where the partner has all the money, he has the degrees, he has the abilities to speak, and she's just a damsel in distress who cannot take care of herself. A lot of times these women get disrespected, they get cheated on, they're not publicly, and the man leaves them high and dry for someone else with more substance. We've spoken already about being a substantial woman, okay? So you have to not just aspire to marry someone who can make sure you're set. And when I say you're set, if you have children, you don't have to work as hard. You can be at home with your kids. But while you're at home with your kids, you're also not just using the guy. That's not what femininity is. Because a lot of men get that confused, like, oh, you are a gold digger if you just want to be home and watch me take care of you and you have nothing to offer. What she is offering you doesn't mean that you are weak, okay, or it doesn't mean that you are too submissive, etc. Ladies, is if you have a good man who's actually taking care of business, you're not working while you have the children, your bills are getting paid every day, you're not worried about that. We all know some women that really doesn't know how to pay bills because their husband take care of all of that. And that is a blessing. So if they are doing that, the art of being a feminine woman where the man can appreciate you and not necessarily have resentment is if they come home to a clean house, they come home to food, they come home to a beautiful wife who kept herself up, etc. It pushes and motivates the man to work harder, and they know when they come home, it's not gonna be a mess and complaints and this and that and the third. This is what I've gathered. And trust me, I'm not a married woman, but I know so many married people, whether my family, with friends, outside, and you hear the same story. You guys should really stay single until you have mastered these things so you can avoid being with someone that's going to make you unhappy and not really measure up to your expectations, because maybe you're not measuring up to their expectations either. The reality is, women, whether you want to admit it or not, we all have in our minds the type of men that we want to marry. We all want the handsome guy who has a job and who is very kind and romantic and gentle and still masculine and still protects us and watches out for us and takes care of business. Well, the problem is that men have in their mind the type of woman they want to be with as well, that they want to be married to. The gentle woman who keeps herself up and doesn't just fall by the wayside and say, hey, take me as I am. It is what it is. The woman who will be at home taking care of business as well inside of the home, making sure the household is being ran smoothly without always complaining. And a lot of women are not willing to be that woman, and then they end up unhappy. And then a lot of men are not willing to be the man that the woman wants, and they end up happy. And it's just a lack of growth communication. I feel like the advice that I can give most women like myself is, I always tell people, I am not in a public relationship holding hands on all that, because I know there's a lot I'm still learning. I'm still learning how to be this feminine woman, okay? I'm still learning how to properly talk to people, how to control my anger, how to make use of my time, how to be creative, how to be gentle, how to even keep myself in good shape and in good health, because those are priorities for me. I always want to present my best self, and because I know I'm not yet my best self, I don't want to get into a relationship and not be my best self and then end up with problems. And then when you're not your best self, you tend to settle for someone who you feel matches the level where you are now. And then once you start elevating, you're gonna have to leave that person behind, and then there will be problems. That's what happens with a lot of men. They marry these women really quickly, trying to settle down or whatever. They get whipped by the vajayjay. And so they end up in these marriages, and then a lot of time you see that they leave those women and they go marry better, prettier, smarter, whatever women, because they felt like you were never at their level to begin with, and they settled. A lot of times you see a lot of men and women get into the relationship. The man will continue to elevate and grow and make more money and take care of himself, look better every year, and the woman just keeps declining. Especially after once they have children, they just give up entirely on anything, and it just becomes like a sore thumb in the home. And then eventually you see there's just this disconnection until they just drift apart, and it's unfortunate to see. Okay, I don't want to be one of those statistics. I don't want to be one of those women. I don't want to make my husband miserable. I don't want to hold my husband back or my future, whatever. I just feel like it's important to push that. And like I said in my last video, it is not popular to promote singleness as a season of growth. I didn't grow up around my mom. She passed away. So it's a lot that I didn't know, that my father couldn't necessarily teach me, because he's a man, and he was a masculine man who worked a lot to provide. Providing was his number one goal for us. So it was never a priority to teach us, necessarily the gentle ways of a woman and how to really take care of yourself. I had to come and grow into that woman. So it's maturity and age, especially being around so many married people. You tend to learn and teach yourself just by watching, okay, what I'm going to do and what I'm not going to do. Because a couple years ago, I was dating and casually, I didn't want you, we'd break up, I'd go find somebody else, I'd do that. Like, that was the cycle. And it's just as you grow in maturity, like, I don't like that cycle. I don't want to be dating so many people and you're just like, it keeps failing. Why is it failing? What is going on? What is wrong with me? And a lot of times we always tell women when they break up with somebody or when somebody break up with them, you are not the problem. He's the sucker. He's this. I don't think that's a growth mindset. If we get fired, unless they told us it was because of budget cuts, okay? Like, that's the only acceptable way. But if we're getting fired for something else, we want to know why we got fired to prevent that from happening at our future job, okay? So if someone's going to break up with me or I'm going to break up with someone, I always give you the courtesy of, this is why we're breaking up. And if they're telling you, you're just so disrespectful, you talk to me any kind of way, you do this, wow, okay, I need to fix that with myself. Maybe I did do that. Now, there are jerks that really will cheat on you and do whatever because that's just how they were raised. That's just their prerogative. That has nothing to do with you for real. But as women, the first thing that comes to our mind shouldn't be, there was nothing wrong with me, it's all him, it's all this. No, there's always room for us to grow. And I know this will be unpopular. I'm waiting for the comments. I already know a lot of people will not agree with me, but it's just the reality of it. And this is a nice introduction to the video that I will have coming up on women. What ways, how can you grow to activate your femininity so that you can be ready to date, and not just date, but to just be a wholesome woman? Because being feminine will help you out in your career. It will help you out in your life, your friends, like in every area of your life. Femininity is helpful. There is no strength without femininity, okay? My mood is different because it gives you a positive mindset on life, and you find yourself not depending on validation from others more and more. So it becomes easy to just be your own woman. And when you're your own woman, everything else falls in line, okay? And being your own woman does not mean being an aggressive, Debbie Downer woman. It just means you are strong, you know who you are, but you are also strong enough to be submissive, to know when to speak and when to be quiet, elevate others, and when to chill and elevate yourself, okay? It's an art. It's an art that needs to be studied, that needs to be practiced by every woman. So share this with your friends. Comment below if there's anything I said that you're like, oh, sis, no. Comment below if there's anything that I said that you agree with, that you like. I really love debating, discussing with you guys, and it's always positive. I'm never offended, but I know there's always more positivity than there is negativity. So I love you guys. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at Kareen_allude, because I do these polls, I have these discussions often, and you guys' input is so inspiring. Make sure to share this video, like, subscribe. Until next time, mwah.